Hey everybody, there's a bit of a delay, and because I am on my Zoom and streaming into here, so I am going to just want to make sure that I can see your comments because you can comment here. I'm not sure if I will see who is here. And tonight I thought I'd talk about Ditch the Bowl, which some of you may be very familiar with, which is cool. So I'm going to open this up so I can see your comments, hopefully. So welcome. And I'm Sylvia with Walkabout Canine Consulting. I do have you open in Zoom. I was going to just go through a little slide presentation that I have. So there's more of a visual instead of you just watching me yickety yak and yickety yak. Which I like to talk, but I do like to show visuals so that, hi, Anita, thanks for coming. Okay, so so I can close this. I can see who's there. So that's awesome. And I am going to share my screen. As I said, I am going to is it going to let me share my screen? That's the thing. Technology is lots of fun. Okay. Being live streamed. Okay, here we go. I got my buttons. I forgot to say, got it. So I'm so happy that you're here. Hopefully everyone is doing well. And hopefully the weather has cooled off wherever you are. I know we've had some heat waves in different places. So I am just going to start sharing my screen. It's a little slow. So let's see. So, okay. Hopefully you can see this. I know it's lagging a little bit. And I am happy that you're all here. Like I said, this is going to be a little more interactive and not interactive, but I do have a presentation. I'm all out of whack. So this is about Ditch the Bowl. So welcome. I'm Sylvia with Walkabout Canine Consulting, and I thought this would be a great subject. I actually had it planned for quite some time. I saw somebody else put it on their chat, and I've also seen some comments flying around in regards to so it is a science lesson for sure, and I will just touch just briefly on that. But I have noticed that some other trainers have kind of thrown around their thoughts about it, and I'm going to just show you from my perspective and how I use this. It is a concept. It is labeled Ditch the Bowl, and does it mean we ditch the bowl? Yes and no. So as in everything, and any of you have worked with me, it's always, it depends. So in dogs and animals, so this is the science part, are contra freeloaders. And when you think of it, we kind of are as well. We work for our food. We forage in the grocery stores, and before there were grocery stores, we foraged in the wild for our food. But actually, there is lots of science in the truth that mammals do love to work for their food, even for humans. And if given the choice, an animal will choose, if they have a choice between eating out of a bowl and interacting with and engaging with their food, most animals will choose the interaction. They may still do some of the food bowl, but I've had many clients whose dog's appetite actually increased by giving them more enrichment through their food. So what are some ways to ditch the bowl? Games, training, stuffed food toys, marrow bones, bully sticks, scatter feeding, and scatter feeding, frozen treats, edible chews, food dispensing toys, puzzle toys, scent work, and there's probably more. And, and realizing that we don't always have time to do all of this. And that's where, it never means that you withhold any food from your dog, because that's really not fair. And you set your schedule. So, some of us, especially with puppies and teens, this is a really big benefit. But, you may be in a hurry. You may not have things ready, and you may need to feed your dog out of a bowl in the morning before you go to work, because you're not going to leave your dog standing there and being hungry or hangry. And especially for younger dogs, because they do, need that continual calorie intake. So you do set your schedule, but it's really easy. Even if you are busy and you're having your coffee, you can do scatter feeding. And, that's simply just taking your dog's breakfast and scattering it on your cement pad outside and letting them forage for their food. So that's a simple way to do that. If you don't have time for that, that's fine. And, thinking about what your day is going to be like and whether you can commit to some of the different activities. Okay. So there's no hard and fast rule. It is something that I encourage owners to do when I'm working with clients to do this, and owners that embrace this, they do, because they just love to see their dogs enjoying this concept, and they are they just love it. So just going to turn that part up and that part up. There we go. Hopefully you can still hear me. Benefits. It's an efficient way for your dog to eat its required calories in a day. Ho-hum out of a bowl. Animals in nature, they don't get up every morning and have, a bowl full of food in front of them. They get up every day thinking, okay, I'm going to go look for some food. It's mentally stimulating. It's, it is for all animals in nature. And like I say, at one point we did as well. But it just gives them a lot of satisfaction. And we want to also to create a dog who's motivated to train with you, because we can also use those calories for training. We don't need to use treats that have a lot of calories in them. And yeah, we don't need to use treats that have a lot of calories in them. It is nice to add in some high value stuff if you are working with a young dog and you're creating an experience for your dog. So those are some of the benefits for sure. So training games, hopefully you can see this, but my dog's just catching treats out of my hand as we're walking. It's a game. He loves it. He thinks it's the coolest thing ever. And so does she. So, there's lots of different training games that you can play, or just plain old training, which is great. We've got foraging toys. There's a picture of all different types. This is me getting my dog's foraging toys already. They're sitting there waiting and watching, and they know what I'm doing. I'm getting them ready for the freezer. So, you know, you can, if you've got kids, it's great to get them employed to help you do that. You can set up just a extra container in the freezer and put these all in there, and they're ready to go. There is, this is just another way to add in some foraging, just sniffing around different items. This is confidence building. This is just one little piece. It's not a video, but you know, we can use our dog's kibble for just a little balance path, or, you know, they're just objects, and it's giving them you know, a different experience with their, you know, tactile, sniffing, visual, olfactory. Okay. This is, you know, a snuffle mat. So foraging for kibble. And, you know, you can make it easy at first, and then you can make it harder where it's the kibble is being hidden within the snuffle mat, and your dog needs to use their nose to get it out. If you don't have a snuffle mat, you can make one. There's lots of YouTube videos for that. Or you can simply take, you know, 2 towels or a towel, and, you know, kind of crunch it all up and put treats in there for your dog to forage. Or you can put a towel down, some treats down, another towel on top of that, or a blanket, and they need to figure out how to get it out. So this is one of my dogs really enjoying. You know, he's using his paws. That's fine. There's no right or wrong answers. The only thing I don't want is I don't want my dog to be, you know, eating anything other than just the treat. So you always want to supervise and see if this is an appropriate activity for your dog. And if it's not, then you simply take it away, and you can try later. If it's a young dog, they may not be interacting with it. That's in a safe way, and you can always try when they're older. You know, this is a little bit of tactile. So this is just a piece of agility equipment I think I bought. So I'm just unpacking it, and it's tactile enrichment, it's confidence building, and they're willing to get on there. The material is kind of like the roofing tiles. So yeah, and I'm just goofing around with them. Bully sticks, which is very calming and satisfying. So this is one of my dogs, he's chewing it, and I put it in this this kind of toy. So I stick it in the end so that he it makes him consume it a little bit slower. Otherwise, he will take that and chop it up fast. He's really, really fast. So he has something to hold on to. And I also safeguard the last little piece, which he likes to swallow whole. Not all dogs do that, but it is nice to actually learn what your dog and how your dog interacts with, you know, other items. Okay, we got some comments here. Sorry, we're looking at the wrong thing. You can't see it. Oh my God. I'm talking away and you can't see it. Stop share. Can you see me? Can you see me? This is what technology does. Okay, you can see me, but you can't see the shared screen. So we can't see this? No, it's blank. I see that. Oh, there it is. So can you see this now? Okay, awesome. All right. I can back up a little bit. just to show you. You heard me speak, so some of the benefits. Awesome. Sorry about that. Duh. Technology. And okay. So yeah, this is my dog just following my hand, dropping treats. It's training, it's a game. He loves it. He just wants to catch the treats. It's a type of catch game, and it's also a focus exercise. And Emma loves it as well. So these were the foraging toys that I spoke about in regards to, getting them all ready, and we can stick them in the freezer. I do it sometimes. I do it when I have time. And sometimes I will just get 2 ready at a time, and it just depends on our schedule. So it is nice to get a few ready if we can. These are just some items. It's just a very short snippet, just a picture snippet of just putting some items out so that your dog has an opportunity for just different stimulation. This is kind of considered free work. And you can hide treats in that little plastic container with the waffle balls in it. I've got some treats on top of this climb, and yeah, so they've got to move around. I put some treats on some flattened cardboard, and you can use your imagination there. So this was the snuffle mat that I was mentioning. And so I'm just getting it ready, filling it up, and I'm using my dog's calories. So if I am going to give them anything out of the bowl in the morning, I do give supplements. I will kind of think about what my day is going to be and decide on, how much food that they may get out of the bowl in the morning. So I might make it extremely, just a little bit of food. And if I know that we're going to do, a lot of foraging and stuff, especially during bad weather. And this is Liam just sniffling through it. He really loves the snuffle mat. So, and you can make these, you can find on YouTube how to make them. It's really easy. Okay. This was the tactile enrichment, and this is just me putting something together. It's something new. They're getting on it because they're just used to me always asking them to get on top of things. So it's just mentally stimulating for them. And it is tactile as well because they're stepping on some material that's not typical. This is kind of like a roofing material, which is quite different. So this is back to the chewing with the bully stick and me sticking it into this Westpaw Quizzle toy so that Liam doesn't consume it quickly and that he doesn't eat the last inch or 2 by just swallowing it whole, because we don't want to. There's more licking. This is another licky toy that's got a suction cup. This is kind of cool, even for grooming and such. You can do that. So licking gives a very Zen-like effect, which is awesome. You can make things up, and this is just me. I just had some applesauce. I had a piece of cheese, and I just, saved some pieces. I stuck these in paper towels. Now, my dogs are a little gentler with this stuff, and they'll rip the paper towels to take what's inside there. I have seen dogs that they'll just eat the paper towel. Not that that's a bad thing, but you want to do what works for your dog and always supervise how they're interacting with something, so that it's not dangerous for them. Okay, so there he is. He's, getting everything out, checking everything out, and this is enrichment. It's a small container, but he's a small dog. So you can use, there's just different ways to look at things, right? So we've also got the lick mats, which has a very Zen-like effect on dogs. So it does reach the same part of the brain as when we meditate. it is a huge effect. Now I have small dogs, so I do definitely have to be very aware of the calories they're taking. Clients that have the bigger dogs can fill those licky mats, completely full. I've had clients that actually stick them in the freezer. For me, like I say, I have to be careful for the calories that my dogs have or take because they are smaller. We've got a muffin tin game. So there's a couple of pictures of how we can use, a muffin tin and just putting toys, just putting treats and then putting toys on top, and then your dog has to figure out how to get to the treats. It's a puzzle, so it's a homemade puzzle. You can do however and use whatever items that you want. If you use fresh food, this is a great opportunity to do that. So there is a lot of benefits to this. I've even done a version of just taking a pail and putting food at the bottom and filling it up with toys, and then the dogs have to pull each toy out, which some of your dogs are very good at if they know how to empty their toy box. So this is another way to do that. There's do-it-yourself enrichment. So if you've been watching this community, I did do some enrichment challenge and did show some do-it-yourself. I actually had 4 days of do-it-yourself enrichment that you can just take household items and provide that. So it was a great way to look at, you don't need to buy toys. The videos are here in the group, and I've also I think I finished posting the videos to YouTube as well. I do have a YouTube channel, so I did put them up on there. It was a 4-day challenge, and every day I did 3 different activities with my dogs that I've involved enrichment activities, and I just used whatever I had at home. So it's great to give you an idea of what you can do at home with recycling and other things, so that these dogs are enjoying this. They love it. They're puzzles, and it's they love it. So finding food, so using their nose, and you can hide treats around the house. That is probably the easiest type of nose work that you can do. Dogs know how to use their noses, so if they love food, that's just an easier game. You don't really have to teach them a lot. Just in the beginning, you want to put it out very easy so they can find it easy, so that they start getting the concept of the game. I have one client who that was their evening ritual, is hiding treats in different spots of their house. They had a huge house, so they were able to find different spots, and it was the dog's evening ritual, which was good because it was scent work. It was mentally enriching. So by the time the dog was done, the dog was mentally tired and could happily go to sleep. This is more finding food, and this is the scatter feeding. So I've got my dogs waiting, and I've scattered some food in some spots, and they need to find it. You can use grass. I do have cement pads that I do. When you first start this, it's nice to start on the cement pad just to watch how your dog does, whether they eat it all. And then, you can graduate to grass. You want to make sure they're eating it all, so they're not leaving anything left to attract critters and stuff. And this is a tricky treat ball. And this is like hunting. When I give this to my dogs, they go in a zone and they're hunting, and they're pushing the ball with their nose, with their with their paws, sometimes because they're both doing it and they're going in different directions. So if one of them thinks like, he's getting too close to me, they just pick it up and go in another area. I used to put up a baby gate to separate them, but now they coordinate themselves quite well after some practice for a while. And this is a Topple toy, so a little bit different than a Kong toy. I actually prefer these better than the Kongs now, because the Kong toy has a pretty small hole. If you have a really big, like extra large Kong, it's pretty good. And some dogs do enjoy that. I just find this is an easier, it's just easier for dogs. So this is a picture of the Topple, again, made by Westpaw. So they are new on the scene over the last 10 years or so, adding to the Kong toys. So thank you for watching this. And let's see. Yeah. So I thought this would be great to show you. I'm going to get rid of that and make sure you still see me. And if you have any questions, let me know. So this was ditching the bowl. And if you have any other questions about ditching the bowl, or if you want some ideas, I think you saw, well, I guess you didn't see, I had I'll share this. And again, my dogs are small, so you can quite easily measure out a bowl with their ration, and that's what you're using to train, use for foraging. Some owners get a plastic container and fill that up with their daily ration, and that way you're not overfeeding your dogs, which is great. And that's always a concern when we're using food. So the food is definitely motivating, definitely reinforcing, but it's an experience for the dog. And I think that's really, really cool. Like I say, we never want to withhold anything from our dog. If our dogs have some favorite foods, like fresh foods that you give them, then that's a great time to actually use them for some of the activities, the foraging, the finding, the training. So this is actually quite a nice way to deliver those calories. So we are almost done, and I'm really happy that you're here. I don't see anybody else here but my lovely friends, so which is awesome. And I hope everybody is doing well and that they have recovered from, I know a lot of places had some heat waves, and our weather is it's still warm, but that's normal for us. And just not crazy hot. It's getting to be the end of August. So one more day and we are into September. Anybody have any questions about this? And if you're watching this on replay, if you can let me know, #replay, and you can drop in the comments if you have any questions about this. I would love to hear from of you. If you have tried this, if you do this on a regular basis, I would love to hear what you do in regards to ditching the bowl. If anybody has ever gone to a zoo and noticed that some of the animals are actually trying to work their way through some items to get fed, these are the same concepts. And actually, a lot of this has been extrapolated from the zoo world in regards to giving our dogs activities with, working for their food. So, it's a natural thing for our dogs. So why not give them a job? They love it, and you will love the benefits that you will see when you do this for your dog, especially if you have a teen dog. The more you can do this, the more they will be mentally satisfied. Yes, their physical exercise they need. This is great mental exercises, and then of course, adding in the training, just having that really cool balance. So nothing is really lopsided. And I am going to say good night. And I'm Sylvia with Walkabout Canine Consulting. And if you have any questions, please contact me either here on the group or you can private message me. And I hope you guys have a great day.